What's going on, guys? So glad. Welcome back. You're listening to No Rain, No Rainbows podcast. I'm your host, Ted Phaeton. Joining us today on the other side of the camera, Andrej Suttles of Suttlesolution. Man, what's going on?
How you living, brother?
Hey, man, I'm living good. For anybody that's tuning in for the first time, might not know what this podcast is about. Well, it's called No Rain, No Rainbows because we believe in chasing your best life, living to your full potential. And a lot of times you're going to have to go through some adversities. You're going to have to go through some hard times. We call that the rain. But eventually when you get to your success, which is the rainbows, it's all worth it in the end. Right, brother?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, we try and talk about different topics for people to take some actionable advice away from. And today's topic, if you're reading the headline, if you're watching on YouTube, the topic is get off the snooze button and take cold showers.
Take control.
Yeah, just take control. It might sound unrelated, but really what I've been doing recently first was get off the snooze button. I got off the snooze button a while back, and every day now I'm finishing my showers with a blast of cold water. Have you tried that?
I haven't.
Okay.
I can't say I have.
Do you think I'm crazy for doing it?
No, because when I got off my snooze button, I was actually at the Air Force Academy, and I did basic training there, and there is no snooze button.
Yeah.
Because your door is getting kicked in, and you actually take cold showers most of the time. So I kind of got used to that, and what was really cool was I developed this habit of making my bed every single morning.
Nice.
And before I knew it, within about a month, literally about a month and a half, I felt like I was starting to develop consistency.
Yeah.
I could see that, you know.
What do you think getting off the snooze button did for you?
It really just helps you literally take mental control and let you know that you're in control and that your body may tell you one thing, but ultimately you tell it. You know what I'm saying? It's mind over matter. So
yeah,
that's one thing they kind of teach you up there is literally mental toughness. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for me, and I transferred to Furman. Wasn't the type of lifestyle I wanted, but I definitely learned some very valuable life lessons and life values from up there. So
yeah. And that's what it's all about. When I say get off the snooze button and take cold showers, I think it's practicing discipline. What I like what you said make my bed. And what ended up happening was consistency. I think a lot of people, they try and reach for success. They try and, live their best life. And in order to do that, we hear all the time, we see it all the time, you need to be disciplined. It's not easy to be disciplined. It's not. When you look at the big staircase and you're like, oh man, I got to wake up at this time. I got to make my bed every day. I got to take cold showers. I got to do this, the other thing. Slow down. You don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah, it's the little things that actually make you more disciplined, right?
Yeah.
So, finding that workout buddy that you're going to work out with every single morning at 7:30, right? You know for a fact that you don't want to let that person down. They don't want to let you down. You're going to develop that habit of not hitting that snooze button. Yeah. Literally.
The big thing you're talking about right now, accountability.
100%.
And shout out to Tyler Harris page. I know he probably checks out the podcast. Something he said on his IG that floored me. He goes, a lot of times people, they want to dig deeper or jump deeper in different realms in their lives. And the reality is, it's not that they need to dig deeper. They actually have to take the commitment and set up accountability in that aspect. So when you talk about the gym, someone that gets a trainer or a workout buddy, that's accountability. You might not want to go to the gym. You might not be feeling like it, but someone's at the gym looking at their clock waiting for you. You better be there. Imagine you adapt that to other things in your life, whether it be business, whether it be work. I mean, you show up to work because you're accountable. You need that paycheck. If you didn't have a paycheck, would you still wake up and go to work? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
But the accountability is what keeps you doing that process. And accountability can transition into confidence when you do it with yourself. That's why I say get off the snooze button. When you tell yourself you're going to wake up at 6 a.m. and then the next day you hit the snooze button a few times and you really wake up at like 7, what you're doing is you're bruising your confidence there. Because when you tell somebody else you're going to do something, you're not quite sure. If you can't keep a promise to yourself, how can you keep a promise to somebody else, right? So yeah, setting up the accountability with others, setting it up with yourself. And I mentioned get off the snooze button because I think that's a quick, simple habit that people can start working on tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 99.97% of people set more than one alarm.
Yeah. And I mean, I've done it. If you look, if you
I
scroll
still
through
do it
my
today.
IG,
Like I still try to get off my snooze, but I still set more than one alarm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just that I don't have I'm developing that self-confidence, that self-trust to realize that, all right, when I hear that, Andre, you're getting up. You don't need a second alarm, you know?
Yeah.
So I kid you not, Ted, I used to have an alarm that went off every 3 minutes up to about 10 minutes. And I'm like, I don't need that. So then I went down to 5 minutes. So I have one that's like I'll get up at 7, 7:03, 7:05.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Don't need that. Let me set 2. And I'll catch myself sometimes like, do I got that third alarm? I think it's set. Let me just get up. Just let me get up.
What's so crazy though, because it literally is a mental game. Because after you sleep X amount of hours or whatnot, and you wake up and you're so tired, and you see the clock and you're like, oh, I can get 5 more minutes. What does that do for you?
Realistically.
And I don't know the science behind it, but scientifically, the 5 extra minutes, does that change the sleep that you've had overnight? Or is that more of, just a mental stimulation, like, oh, it feels good for 5 minutes?
Yeah, more mental comfort.
Yeah, mental comfort. So the reality behind that is you can rely on the mental comfort, or you can be uncomfortable and push yourself and make the mind over body decision to get out of bed at the time you appointed. Now, I'm not trying to tell people to set their alarm at a ridiculous hour in the morning and just roll out of bed. No, if you have to be at work at 9 and you wake up at 8, wake up at 8.
Yeah. But wake up at 8.
Wake up at 8.
Yeah.
If you have to wake up at 2 p.m.
And make your bed. Yeah, I'll say
wake up at 2 p.m. and make your bed. There is a book that's called Make Your Bed, and it talks about consistency, accountability. And we're really just getting down to the nitty gritty of habits here, right? There's going to be some days where you're just not into it. Yeah. You're not feeling it. You're sluggish, you're sick, you're tired. I mean, today actually was one of the days I woke up and, I'm fighting a bug. My habits go to the gym. Now, I'm lucky enough where I could look at my schedule and I push the gym over because, it's good to recover. But it was so hard for me to do that because I'm so programmed. To do that. Yesterday, I was sicker and I went to the gym. And, I have to have people around me, the people that love me, they're like, Ted, slow down. Yeah. Like I know you said you're going to do this, but your health is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
you have to take that break. There's a fine line that you kind of have to balance between pushing yourself and knowing that, there's a limit, right? And you cannot achieve everything overnight. And I think we ultimately try to push ourselves to work, 16 hours some days when you don't need that. Yeah. Put in a great 10 and put in a great 10 tomorrow. Right. So it's, I don't know, like I said, it's a fine line. There's going to be times where you need to put in that extra time, to build that consistency, you have to finish that video before, tomorrow. I'm not going to sleep until I finish it.
It's a deadline.
Yeah, it's a deadline. So, and those are things that help you develop that consistency and help you to, realize what your self-limit is, what you need to work on, what you kind of lack, or what your pros and cons are.
How do you find your limit? Because I think that's really important. Both you and I, we're two people that push that, right? We push our limits. We work. When I'm waking up and you're texting me at 2:30 in the morning,
it's crazy.
like,
that really kills me. Like, it really kills. So we're on two completely almost different schedules. And it's like I'll literally be texting Ted text him. I won't text him anytime after about 9. Yeah. About 9:30, he's asleep, and I'll be up and working. I tend to work a lot better at night. There's way less distractions for me personally. My dog is normally asleep. I work from my home, and people, you may not realize it, but your pets, they need some attention, and when they want it, they'll bother you until they get it. Yeah. So but I'll text Ted at 2 a.m., 2:30, and I'm like, hey man, video's uploading. Needed so and so from so and so, and he's like, nice man, just waking up, putting on the tie, and I'm like, all right, I'll be up for another 2 hours, gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, but that's crazy how it works. The fact that we work with each other and knowing each other's schedule, I'm waking up, and it doesn't matter if I'm getting ready for work or on my way in. When I get the text, I can respond, and we can work with each other on opposite schedules. And the best thing is, I'm up at 2:30.
At whatever it may be,
It's amazing when other people know your schedule. I have friends of mine and other people that can tell me my schedule. They know when to text me, when not to text me, because, it's like clockwork. Yeah. And what happens when you operate like clockwork, when you do that, you actually train the people in your life to work to your schedule. I don't get text messages after 8:30. And people are like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because anyone that's going to text me after 8:30 that knows
probably
me
won't respond until 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.
True story. Shout out to Dave Barenbaum. I know you listen. He texted my girlfriend 2 nights ago at 9 o'clock because he's like, hey, I was going to text Ted, but I know he's asleep. So let me text you
go ahead
instead.
And get this right. Yeah.
Yeah. So bringing it back in terms of accountability, knowing your limits.
And finding that limit, I mean, if you ultimately look at it, it's really based off that confidence level that you have and how well you know yourself. And I'm currently, I was doing the challenge, the 30-day challenge. And what it does is it helps you literally develop your values.
Yeah.
Not what other people taught you growing up, not what you're supposed to do or what someone told you you're supposed to do, go to college, get a good job. No, it helps you develop what you want, what you value, what you deem, I guess real and I guess important to you. Yeah. So if you know yourself and you know that I'm a night person. I cannot wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. and work out. Just I used to do it in football, but I know now with the type of person I've developed and grown to be, I cannot wake up in the morning and work out at 6 a.m. Right? Yeah. I can, but knowing myself, I'll be way more productive if I worked at night, slept in an extra 2 hours, woke up at 8, 9, and went from there, worked out at 11. If I don't know myself, it's going to be extremely hard to know, or first, if someone comes up and say, hey, man, let's start training at 7 a.m. I'd love to start working out with you. Yeah, man, let's do it. I will kill myself. I'll drive myself into the ground currently. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, if I don't know myself, it's going to be hard to say no. And I would say when it comes to finding your limit, it's about how well you can say no. Yeah. It's funny you talk about both knowing yourself, and I wrote down necessity because I'm like you, where I'm a night person. And before I worked in the mornings, for those that don't know who's listening for the first time, I anchor in the mornings for our local news station, Fox Carolina. I wake up at 2 a.m. every day, and I'm on 4:30 in the morning till 9 a.m. anchoring. Before that, I worked weekends on the night shift. I'd go into work at 3 p.m. I'd get out at 11 p.m. And I loved it. I'd get home, I'd unwind, and I'd go to bed at 3 a.m. So my schedule completely flipped 180. But I loved my previous schedule because I was naturally an evening person. My best thinking, my best work happens in the evenings. Same. But when people are like, oh man, I don't know how you wake up at 2 a.m. I wish I was a morning person like you. Like, bruh, I'm not a morning person. I just got to do it. I'm not a morning person. But I wake up at 2 a.m. out of necessity. And the fact of the matter is 2:20 a.m. to be exact. That's when my alarm goes off. And I wake up, and I'm at the point now, man. You never get used to waking up at that hour. But I'm at the point now where my body will wake up like a split second before my alarm goes off. Yeah. Because it knows it's time. Just getting up. Game time. And there's been mornings where I've woken up like, something doesn't feel right. Yeah. I look at the clock. Late. It's 2:21. I'm a minute late. But my body instinct is just like, you should be up right now. And that's what that consistency does for you. It puts you on a schedule, and most people don't schedule their sleep. Yeah. So if you wake up at the same time every day, no matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter what's going on, and sure, there'll be exceptions, but if you have that programmed in you, what do you think is going to happen when you're like, I need more sleep? You'll start going to bed earlier. You go to bed earlier. Just a little bit. You go to bed earlier. And as a result, you keep promises with yourself. Your body will actually start to listen. Oh, okay. You say, take a cold shower. We're going to take a cold shower. I don't want to take a cold shower. Yeah. It's miserable, man. But do it. I tell my body, like, I'm in control. And that's where, like, me. So, for example, me personally, breakfast is one of my least favorite meals. Now, I love bacon. I love eggs, but it's one of my least favorite meals. I'd rather have a smoothie. But, like, I love dinner. And me not being a morning person, you see what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of adds up, right? It works. I don't like waking up before 8 a.m. I will do it if I need to, but I'll wake up at I may stay up late and put an extra hour in at night.
Yeah.
Where I have no distractions and sleep that extra hour. Make a smoothie in the morning, go work out, hit an early lunch at 11 o'clock, and I'm like, this is perfect for me.
Yeah.
I like this.
How many hours of sleep do you think you get each night? On average?
I would say average 5 to 6.
5 to 6?
5 to 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I average about 6. Yeah. Realistically, during the week, it's closer to 5.
Yeah, I would say it depends. And, my weekends are actually my busy days. I'll get maybe 4 hours of sleep then. Because, people love to do things at 7 a.m. on Saturday. All y'all event planners listening, just push it back an hour for me.
Yeah, just
do 8. Let's do 8:30. 8:30 sounds real good.
Which they're like, okay, right? The event starts at 9. He's like, yeah, but you have to get
be
there
here at 7. Right? But no, I would say on average I get about anywhere from 5 to 7.
Yeah.
And there's other days, where I don't have to set my alarm, and I'm grateful for those days where I just won't set my alarm and try to get extra sleep. Still end up waking up 30 minutes past when my normal alarm was set, and I'm like, or I'll wake up. Honestly, I wake up an hour before like my normal alarm, and I'm like, should I get up right now? I feel kind of good, but I see myself I was sleeping in, and it's like,
you should see me on Saturday and Sunday mornings, man. It'll be 6 o'clock, like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'll wake up. Jess is still in bed. I'm just like,
what do I do? Yeah, literally.
And I'll end up getting back into bed, and there's times I'll be up for an hour. I'll probably do a little reading.
Yeah, don't want to get any coffee because it might wake you up too much.
Yeah, I'm trying to be courteous. And then I'll fall back asleep, which is great. And then like we'll wake up at 9, and she's like, "Oh, that was good sleep." And I was like, "Yeah, I was up at 7." She's like, "What?"
I just been to the mail. Ran to Walmart and back and do errands.
Yeah,
I think it's important because it's ultimately in life it's the little things. And honestly, being able to, we live in a world now where it's everything's digital. They say that one of the worst things you can do when you wake up is look at your phone.
Yes.
Have all the distractions of that instantly when you wake up. So for you to be able to, one, let's say we do not use our phones for an alarm clock, and we get an old school alarm clock, one of the ones where with the red numbers that goes right beside your bed.
Yeah.
Get one of those to where you can only set one alarm on it.
Yeah.
Right?
I have that.
But right? Knowing that you will wake up on that one alarm. And it's like doing the little things like that, it allows you to focus on other things.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, all right, am I going to wake up in the morning? Am I going to sleep past an hour? Well, do I need to do it? Let me see if I got something going on. Let me prop this text up in case I sleep later. No. You're going to wake up. You know that. You're going to make your bed right when you wake up too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to see your covers all ruffled up and you have to just dive back into them. No, you're going to have a made up bed.
I have an out for that.
Right.
Jess is still in bed when I'm getting out.
Okay, yeah, so you're solid. Yeah.
I can't make it.
Right? My dog tries to sit on it and I'm like, get up.
Yeah.
Get up.
Not now.
Not now.
Not now.
But
bringing it back, something that I want the listeners to take away, if you're watching on YouTube, something I want you guys to take away from this is do your best to get off that snooze button. When you tell yourself you're going to wake up at a certain time, wake up at that time. If you have to be up at 8, don't set the alarm for 7 and then 7:15, 7:30. You're actually doing yourself harm when you do that. So just sleep all the way up to the limit, get up and go. On top of that, it's extreme, I know, to take the cold showers. You might be thinking I'm crazy for doing that, but it's actually, it has some health benefits to it, and I welcome you to look into that. But that's another way. Yeah, it's another way for you to practice that mental toughness. Because I promise you,
self-accountability.
Yeah, I promise you, it's going to get hard sometimes.
Yeah,
I promise you're going to wake up, or you're going to have a day things aren't going your way. You don't feel like doing it, and we always say for success, no matter how you feel, you have to show up. You have to show up, and I tell you this as something I'm working on myself. So you're not in this alone if you're listening. Andre, one last tip for folks on how they could build mental toughness before they probably get to their destination if they're listening in the car or finish cleaning up.
I said it earlier. Make your bed every single morning.
Nice.
If you're not doing it now, start.
Yes.
If you are making your bed every single morning, reach out to a mentor. Reach out to someone who has what you want, who is in the position you want, and literally just ask them.
Yeah.
Say, hey, how can I provide value to you? how can I learn from you?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Make your bed and get a mentor.
Andre, I love it, man. There you guys have it. Again, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Absolutely.
What do you say all the time?
Let's be great.
All right. Everybody wants the sunshine, but they don't want the rain. But you can't get the pleasure without a little pain.
Pain, baby.
Let's grow. Yeah, they heard that.